Our Old House by Susan Visagoraga, illustrated by Leslie Baker. There's a wisteria vine that curls around a post on our old front porch. It reaches to the rain gutter, and its blue flowers look like waterfall spilling off the porch roof. I like to lie on my back and look up at that vine. It's an old vine, and it's an old house. It's our house now, but it hasn't always been ours. It used to belong to someone else. I know, because when Mom pried the fireplace mantle off the wall in the parlor and turned it around to clean the cobwebs from the back, written on it was our address in someone's old-fashioned writing, but the name written above it wasn't ours. And when she scraped off the old paint, Mom showed me the layers of color that someone else had spread on our mantle many years ago. I know there's a certain color to the roses that grow in our neighborhood. They're all daughters of the rose bush outside our kitchen window. I heard from the woman who still lives next door that the neighbors who lived on this street when our rose bush was young received a cutting, a little slip, and each started to grow in a neighbor's yard. All those roses have grown old together and stayed where they were planted while people moved in and out of the houses on our street. I know that a different girl once lived in our house. Her name, Ruth, is scratched down low into the kitchen door, and the writing looks like a little girl's. She must have been just learning to write when she practiced on our door. I wonder if her parents saw it there. Or maybe, besides Ruth, I'm the only one who knows. I know some other children once played in our yard. When I helped Mom and Daddy dig a straight, shallow path to our new sidewalk, I found a cracked glass marble with a swirl of green inside. I scrubbed off the dirt, and I keep that marble in a treasure box on my dresser with a small piece of brown Thrasher's speckled egg and a bracelet I made from the colored glass beads that I found in a secret place beneath the loose front porch step. I know someone once kept a garden where our strawberries grow now. When Daddy and I pulled back the honeysuckle and tucked it behind the old garden fence, we found neat rows of raised earth where someone else's vegetables used to grow. And the jonquils still open in the springtime in a neat circle around our wild cherry tree. But we aren't the ones who planted them there. I know more about our house now. When Daddy was patching the roof and I was lying in the grass and watching the wisteria that started tugging on the rain gutter, I heard Daddy's voice, and I saw a woman standing on that loose front porch step looking up at our old house. I saw Daddy climb down the ladder and brush off his hands. He called to me to come and meet the woman who sat on the porch swing and looked all around at the house and the yard. "She used to live here," Daddy said, and I leaned against a post while I listened. She talked about what a difference a fresh coat of paint can make and how high that vine had climbed since she saw it last. Daddy told her all about us and the repairs we've been making. I listened a while, and then I went to my room and I got the marble out of the treasure box on my dresser. I went back outside and I held it out on the palm of my hand. "Is this yours?" I asked. The woman smiled, took the marble, and gently it rolled between her old hands. "Finders keepers," she said, and she handed it back to me. And then I asked her about Ruth and the garden and which room was hers and what did she do and what was she like and when she used to live in our house. And after a while the woman stood up and clasped my hand in her right hand and Daddy's in her left, and she looked back at us on the porch of our house as she walked away. And when she was gone, I took the box off my dresser and I went out on the porch and sat on the swing and listened to Daddy working on the roof above. I took out my beaded bracelet and tied it around my wrist, and I rolled that old marble between my hands, and then I put the marble back in its place among the other treasures I'd found around this house, and I held the box in my lap, and I sat swinging on the front porch for a long, long time. When I'm old, and that wisteria vine may reach all the way to the chimney, I may live in another house then, and there may be someone else who sits on our porch swing and plays in our yard. Someone who lies in the grass and looks up at our wisteria vine. Someone who finds the secret place beneath the loose front porch step. Someone whose questions I can answer. So I hope someday I, too, will return to visit our old house. The end.